Welcome back, everybody. It is the most gorgeous morning out here. A perfect day to fire up the grill. And Angie Horkins here from the Wisconsin Beef Council. Good morning. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, these recipes look amazing. Talk about wowing everybody. We're really kind of taking steak on the Barbie to a whole new level.
Yes. Well, and cooking with wine.
Yeah, and
you cook with a little bit and you drink a lot, right?
No comment there, but you know, but
I love wine.
And people, I happen to really enjoy it too, and I like cooking with it. It adds so much flavor.
It does.
Really does, and wine and steak goes so well together. So
it does.
Tell me what we're making here.
We have a beautiful beef ribeye steak. So one of the favorites for the grill. We have a nice thick cut one for the grill, and we're going to make a sauce to go with it. So all we're going to do to this ribeye is put a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper on them.
Can I stop you here for a second?
Yes.
So actually, a Sunday for Father's Day, Bob wanted steaks.
Yes.
And so we actually were looking for ribeye or New York strip steak, and I was struggling with picking them out. Do you want that marbling in there? And I was like, or do you not want that?
The marbling, the internal flecks of fat in the muscle is called the marbling, and that's what gives it its flavor and its juiciness.
Okay.
So, and when they grade beef, they look at that amount of marbling, and that's going to be the main deterrent to what grade of beef it is. So your prime steaks, which you can get at really high-end restaurants when you go out to eat, have the most marbling.
Okay.
Then the next grade is choice, and so our supermarkets like Festival, they carry all choice. So they have great amounts of marbling also. And then the grade below choice is select, which you'll also find in the supermarket, which is perfectly fine, but it has a little less marbling, so it's leaner.
Okay. And see, this, when I was picking it out, I was thinking the other way. I want it real lean. I don't want that.
Well,
but then I thought, I think I do want that.
do.
So I'm now glad you set me straight.
So that is the
kosher
flavor.
Salt. Anything else on this?
Just a little pepper.
Okay, a little bit of black pepper.
And that's it.
On each side? Or
Each side.
Okay.
I've already got the other side done.
Okay.
All right. A little more on.
Okay, perfect. So
we're good.
Smoking hot grill.
Onto a nice hot grill.
Okay.
Then we're going to make this is where the wine comes in. We're going to make a sun-dried tomato wine sauce with mushrooms. So on our side burner, I just have 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, I've melted, and we're going to add mushrooms.
Now we're using the different exotic kind of mushrooms, the wild mushrooms that you find at the grocery store now.
Yes.
You could use button, but these are, you love
some
these.
creminis, shiitakes, oysters, those 3 kinds.
A little salt and pepper maybe?
Little salt and pepper.
Okay.
And then garlic. You got a little bit of charred garlic right there.
Garlic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're gonna simmer these about 1 minute.
Note, Angie is using that side burner on the grill.
I know.
Forever and a day, I had a grill with a side burner. Was like, what the heck is this for? Never, ever, ever used it. Then I started using it.
Yes.
And I'm like, what was I thinking all those years I didn't use it? All the mess goes outside. You can hang outside anyway. Use the side burner. If you're making rice to go with chicken, use the burner. You're making couscous, use the burner. Sauteing mushrooms.
Boil water for sweet corn.
Perfect. You're right. Yeah.
So now we're going to add 1 can of beef stock.
Okay.
Or broth.
Okay. And at home, you'd let those cook down probably a little bit more, correct?
Yeah, I'd cook them maybe another minute, just soften them up, but 1 can of beef broth.
Okay.
Then we're going to add our red wine. So just a nice dry red. We have a Merlot.
Okay. About a quarter cup, a half cup?
1/3 cup, 1/3 to a half. It's going to give it great flavor, beef broth and wine.
Yep.
And then cornstarch. So we got a little bit of cornstarch over there to thicken it. Yeah, dump it right in. Thank you.
Now, people here, I've heard the saying before, you know, good steak doesn't need a sauce. And I'm totally the other way. I think that a good steak and a really nice
and a good sauce are perfect.
Complement each other. When you go to those fancy steakhouses, they'll normally have your choice of 3 or 4 different sauces that just kind of take that steak to the next level.
So now this you'd bring to a boil and let simmer about 10 to 12 minutes. So let it thicken up.
Okay.
And we've already got one done. So we're going to pull him off. We'll just switch him around so I can get him back on the burner.
Notice we're using a pan that actually has a handle that can take the heat. So if you don't have one, wrap the handle in foil. If it's a plastic handle, and that's
a good tip.
Okay.
Then I'm going to need over there. We're going to add our sun-dried tomato.
Okay, and this is just sun-dried tomato pesto that we got in a jar. So that's what we're going to finish the sauce with, and a little bit of salt and pepper. It looks like
we're going to put that at the end so we can keep that flavor, and then a little more salt and pepper. So I'll just put this in. Our sauce is nice and thickened. A little salt, a little pepper, and we're good to go. Bring her up a little bit more.
And we did the store-bought sun-dried tomato pesto because it's easy. But you could just basically take sun-dried tomatoes from a jar, puree them up, a little olive oil, a little, garlic, a little bit of, herbs in there, maybe some Parmesan cheese, and make your own.
So I'm going to turn that off.
Oh my gosh.
We'll
it
grab our
smells-
ribeye,
looks delicious.
which we've had on. We've got one done.
Gorgeous.
I might just plate him on the cutting board.
Yep.
Now, when you're grilling at home, let your steaks rest. When they come off the grill, especially a really nice ribeye like this, be patient. Tent it with foil and wait 10 minutes, and all your juices are going to settle down and simmer back into their pockets where they belong, so when you slice them, it won't fly out on your cutting board.
Okay.
And then we're going to serve him with some
Ooh, look at
some
that.
of the tomato, sun-dried tomato mushroom
That
sauce.
looks amazing. So we're going to
So,
let this rest
we're gonna
and
let him
follow the
rest.
rule that Angie just told us, and we'll slice it up, serve it with this great sun-dried tomato mushroom sauce. What are we making next time?
Well, we're going to shift gears and we're going to marinate. We're going to marinate a round steak in a marinade that uses white wine, and it's going to be Italian flavor with some grilled vegetables and a ratatouille.
You know what? I'm excited about that because I've gotten emails in the past. How do you cook round steak? It's cheap, but it's a little bit tougher.
It is. You need to marinate it.
Okay, good deal. Angie's going to stick around and show us how to do that, so don't go anywhere. We will be back.